Hello, everyone. My name is Lauren Goodrich, and we are Consulting Group G1. Today, we are going to be talking about Target's failed entry into Canada and how we can get them back on target. Here is a brief overview of what we will be discussing today. As many of you know, Target is a general merchandise retailer. They generated $77 million in net sales during 2019, which is a 3.6% increase from the prior year. Their profit margin of 4.25% is quite a bit higher than other competitors. Target's market cap as of this morning was $54.1 billion. Not only is this company in good health financially, they also have 1,871 stores across the US and a location in each of the 50 states, yet they still have 0 stores internationally. In the hopes of expanding internationally, Target won a bidding war with Walmart in 2011 over the leases to Zellers, a Canadian retail chain. According to Steinhoffel, the CEO at the time, they intended to open 133 locations between 2013 and 2015. Target's strong branding would be leveraged to attract customers, and their extensive customer data would help maintain a strong customer base. Unfortunately, Target's international expansion did not go as planned, and all stores were shut down by 2015. Their strategy was flawed in 2 major ways. First, it failed to face the problem. In the rush to open new stores, the team failed to analyze customer needs, identify current and potential obstacles, and utilize competitive advantages. As a result, they ended up with massive supply chain flaws, undertrained employees, and empty shelves in each store. Second, they mistook goals for strategy. While there was a well-intended goal to open 133 stores in a short amount of time, there were no clear steps in place to reach that goal, and all issues they encountered were ignored. Due to the bidding war, Target greatly overpaid for real estate. Ultimately, Steinhoffel's poor leadership did not set up his company for success in Canada. In the end, Target had lost $2.5 billion as a result of their failed strategy. Many lessons were learned from Target's initial entry into Canada, and we will integrate these key takeaways into our own analysis. We need to utilize the resources already available to Target, identify and fill needs in the market, and finally, take it slow. Now, I will pass it on to Daria, who will discuss Canada's retail industry.
Thank you, Lauren. To evaluate Canada's retail industry, we conducted external and internal analysis. We identified economic, sociological, and technological trends. Canada's economy is stable. Personal consumption is steady, even though unemployment is 5.5%, but it does not fluctuate. GDP is expected to increase. Nowadays, consumers look for convenience, reach to platform integration. Participants expect easy transaction, better deals, and excellent customer service. Technological development provides opportunity to improve omni-channels, therefore enhance convenience. Effective usage of data will increase chances of meeting customer needs. For internal industry analysis, we adopted Porter's 5-power framework. Suppliers' power and threat of substitutes are low. Realty and buyer power are high. Threat of entrance is moderate. If retail is large and known, the entrance is easier and harder for smaller players. They evaluate different factors defining 5 powers, but the most influential are similarity of products and services, price sensitivity, switching costs, supply chain, and fixed cost. Now I'll discuss most popular business models. Ownership of distribution and supply channels are common among competitors. And now I'm turning you to Austin.
Thank you, Daria. Here in America, Target differentiates itself from competitors by being more focused on the customer experience, providing higher-end products and leveraging data to better cater to the needs of their customers. The ultimate example of this is Target's small format stores known as Target Express. These stores are only 15 to 40,000 square feet and allow Target to have locations in lucrative urban markets that competitors like Walmart and Loblaw can't touch with their warehouse-style stores. Target uses demographic data to tailor-make the product offerings of each store to its surroundings and provide unique value to its customers. Being a best cost competitor, they charge reasonable prices and offer substantial value. People will prefer to shop at our Express stores than Walmart and Amazon because Target effectively bridges the gap between price, quality, convenience, and service. Target simply offers customers the best value for their money and lives up to their slogan, expect more, pay less. Based on Target's core customers here in the US, our target market needs to have a high concentration of affluent people, especially families and women between the ages of 18 and 44. We chose Toronto as the base from which to launch Target's re-entry into Canada because Toronto is 350 miles from the nearest distribution center and has a high concentration of our target demographic. The city is located in southern Ontario, which is home to 40% of Canada's population and allows us room to expand in the future. Additionally, 6 out of the 12 highest earning cities in Canada are in the Greater Toronto Area. Our strategy is to enter the Canadian market using a two-phase approach that will allow us to work out any issues on a small scale before expanding through Ontario and Quebec. We believe this will yield a more successful outcome that utilizes Target's Express stores. We believe that this will yield a more successful outcome and that utilizing Target's Express stores will be a better match for the Canadian consumer market. During the first phase, we plan on opening 3 Express stores in high-income parts of Toronto. We expect this part of our plan to last for approximately 3 years. Once our supply chain is running smoothly, software bugs have been worked out, and we establish the potential for a profitable future in Canada, we'll move on to the second phase. Phase 2 entails opening a Canadian distribution center and an additional 7 stores in Toronto, Hamilton, Ottawa, Montreal, and Kingston, where we hope to locate the distribution center. The second phase is focused on reducing the cost associated with shipping goods from America and providing Target with a strong foundation from which to expand into Canada. Currently, $1 US is equivalent to $1.43 Canadian. This means that during phase 1, we will have decreased margins as a result of shipping goods from American distribution centers to Canadian stores. We view this first phase as an insurance policy against repeating the past. Once we begin phase 2, Target will begin purchasing assets north of the border and eliminating supply chain inefficiencies. With a more efficient supply chain feeding our Canadian stores, we expect product costs to drop and project healthy growth into the future. I'll now pass on to Rebecca.
Thanks, Austin. So Target's development and orchestration of their key resources and capabilities are the best indicator of success. Their 4 main resources are a thoroughly developed brand, efficient inventory management, superior customer service, and well-tested collection and use of big data. A quick VRIO analysis shows that not all of these resources are individually a competitive advantage, but brand is one of those. Target's bullseye is easily recognizable and has a loyal US customer base and differentiates itself mostly through its resources rather than competing directly on price. Inventory and supply chain systems are structured for efficiency, and while this is valuable, it's fairly standard across the industry, so good practices and connections within Canada will be important here. Customer service is one of Target's biggest differentiators and would be a huge cost and cultural shift to replicate anywhere else. So improvements here will mostly be focused on better service through the website. And interpreting customer data has led to a sustained competitive advantage for Target in the US. And Canada and the US have a lot of the same shopping habits and cultural values. So we use what we already know in the US market to cushion that transition a little bit. But most importantly, all of these resources are well orchestrated together to offer something different than their competition. Next, we'll go over the marketing plan. The 3 channels for sales are in-store, online, and in-store pickup. Target's only international presence right now is a single international website that is difficult to use, so access to a Canada-specific website will allow for more accurate inventory availability across different geographic areas. Looking at the bigger picture, we're hoping to attract attention through traditional channels and online, connecting with influencers and designers to promote lifestyle brands sold exclusively through Target and advertise release dates around store openings. Collecting more Canadian customer data will lead us to personalize coupons and develop marketing promotions based on individual shopping habits. And I'll pass it off to Rich for operations and IT.
Thank you, Rebecca. In our discussion of operations and IT tools, the issue that needs to be addressed is avoiding a situation like Target's first entry into Canada, where they opened stores and had empty shelves. To that end, we are coordinating with our existing partners in the US that have Canadian subsidiaries in order to supply Target Express stores Canada stores. These include companies that make a wide range of products such as Unilever, Nestle, and GE. While we plan to use our refined IT capabilities to augment the supply chain system in place, the biggest role that IT will play will be in tracking consumer preferences. For the income statement, what follows is a few core assumptions behind our 2-phase plan, but the key assumption is an economic growth rate between 3 and 4%, which is standard in developed economies such as Canada. Ultimately, we are targeting a net profit margin growth of 3.5%. We're expecting a little over $42 million per store in annual gross sales after all the assumptions are taken into account. While we don't hit our target profit margin growth until year 5, we anticipate that the opening of the new stores in phase 2 will be key in hitting that goal, as evidenced by the projected spike in sales in year 4. Target faces 4 challenges as it re-enters Canada: supply chain, financial, competition, and reputation. The supply chain failure the first time around could make it difficult to establish relationships with third-party vendors and get products on the shelves. The financial risk is that the Canadian retail market might not be profitable enough to sustain a new entrant. Target's use of existing connections with third-party vendors that work in both the US and Canada will help facilitate supply relationships and mitigate the supply chain risk. Focusing on a limited physical footprint delivers the remedy on financial risk. The initial investment that Target made into Canada was over $1 billion. The total cost for this investment is about $143 million. The limited scope of this investment will ensure that any potential loss remains limited as well. Addressing the reputational risk first, the company's brand has already been adversely affected by their initial foray into Canada, making it more likely that consumers will not shop at our stores. The competition risk is that our projected profits has to come from taking away market share from established players, which is more difficult than trying to attract new customers without pre-existing brand loyalty. Our marketing plan is tailored toward addressing our reputational risk. Rather than trumpeting Target's return on national media, we will pursue a precision marketing focus on the markets where we have store. Placing stores in urban areas where competitors have less of a footprint also helps dampen competitive risk. Together, these deliver on our competitive advantages. Finally, we hope that you have convinced that this is Target's best plan to hit the target in Canada. Please reach out to our team with any further questions via email, and thank you for taking the time out of your day to review this presentation.